I'm Caleb.
And I'm nobody.
And we're here to let you know that Power Rangers is
No perfect movie!
So Saban's Power Rangers revolves around 5 teenagers played by Becky G, Naomi Scott, Dacre Montgomery, R.C. Seiler, and Ludi Lin. And it revolves around them teaming up as the Power Rangers after they discover the power coins that grant them the abilities of superhuman strength. And they use these powers and their newfound knowledge of martial arts in order to defeat Rita Repulsa, who this time around is played by Elizabeth Banks, from destroying the world once again.
A lot of slow motion action.
Oh, well, the thing is, the camera shaky shots, you know.
Oh man, that was hard to focus.
It was
there are occasional moments of shaky cam where it's like just them running to get into a car, and there's really no reason for that.
What I did like is when he had his car crash, like, you know, kind of like that panning around.
Yeah, they did like these.
That style.
Yeah, they did like these 360 takes that are like all long takes, and they're really cool, and because they're so continuous, it kind of adds to the tension of what Jason as a character is doing.
True, yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. I felt like it was there, and just the motion wasn't like, doesn't make you sick or anything, and you just, it's easy to focus, not unlike movies just shaking and stuff, and you're like, what's going on? Yeah. And you kind of miss everything.
Yeah, that's true. I was kind of skeptical about Dean Israelite being the director because his only movie before this was Project Almanac, which is good looking for a found footage movie, but at the same time,
a lot of plot. I don't know. I feel like
but I don't really feel like it's his fault as a director over the script. I don't know if he wrote it or not.
Oh, but like, you know, that's true. That's true.
But it's like production quality that made me a little curious about it. But he does direct a well-looking movie. Like, the suits are never going to look that cool, so the fact that they look as authentic as they do is kind of impressive enough.
And I like how they made it kind of shiny. Like, for me, it kind of looks like he took inspiration from what was the first movie was made in the 90s?
Yeah, 95, I believe.
95, yeah.
It was 95, because I had on VHS.
They had their suits were a little different from the TV show.
Yeah.
And they were a little more shiny, too. And I think maybe he got inspiration. I don't know. But, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, like, the effects, for the most part, are really well designed. They're really well textured. The Putty Patrol, they actually looked like they were made out of cement. Goldar, as ugly of a design as he looks, actually looks as if he's made out of molten gold.
That's true.
The scene where he kind of merges with Rita, I thought was
kind of
too obvious in regards to the green screen aspect of it.
As Kirk pointed out, she had some sort of goldgasm going on there.
Yeah.
She really did.
When she
kind of fetish going on there.
Got consumed or what have you.
But yeah, from an effects standpoint, when they're morphing into their costumes, it actually looks like as authentic as possible, despite the fact that they look like walking Jolly Ranchers, in all honesty.
Sorta, yeah. And
they're Mighty Morphin Jolly Ranchers.
That might be the next product placement for the next, because
totally.
Krispy Kreme and now Jolly Rancher might be.
Totally. And by the way,
doubt it.
Next sequel, do not do a Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover. Do not.
Like, I thought that the transformation sequence was, I mean, when they were showing the Rangers' arms getting morphed,
like when their whole
transition
bodies
to morphing into the suits, it looked like there was sweat on their arms too. But I might have been
really
wrong. It was cool, and the sweat kind of, you know, I saw that.
You know
for
what?
a second,
that's actually good. That's actually a good notice. But yeah,
the sweat. I thought that it looked like the sweat was kind of morphing into. I don't know, it was sort of changing into the suit particles. I don't know if that even makes sense.
No.
Particles,
that's all good.
Yeah, particles. It's particles turning into matter, and that's how they.
I mean, that would be If it was a thing.
I don't know if you also noticed that the texture of the skin, they actually follow the graphing of the skin, and actually it was changing to a transformation. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed that.
Nice.
It was really in depth with
That's
detail.
True. And I like the fact that throughout the majority of the movie, it's actually the Rangers out of suits. Like, you don't see them in their suits until the last third of the movie.
Which is good, yeah. And they didn't, which was another thing, too, is they didn't seem to reveal themselves, because I feel like when there's a superhero movie, like these days maybe, I don't know if it was but I don't know, for Spider-Man, I remember him Like, I just remember his mask getting ripped off a lot. Maybe way too much. I don't
like
know.
in The Amazing Spider-Man or Sam Raimi?
I think just generally in the movies, he's...
Both the Spider-Man.
Toby did.
Yeah.
It happened with Toby. And
it did happen to Toby in the first
think
one quite a bit.
I'm not sure if it happened in the second or the third.
Yeah, it happened in the second and the first. They happened all Spider-Man. You really could say all Spider-Man's masks got ripped or damaged a lot.
Regardless of, like...
They want some face time.
I mean, I mentioned Spider-Man, but just generally, in a lot of In a lot of superhero movies, it seems like they reveal themselves a lot more often than they should, and you don't get to see them in their mask, enough. Sometimes it feels that way. Not all the time, but, it's like, okay, put it on. Keep it on, man, for this. Like,
yeah, but for me, the reason I like the fact that they're out of costume most of the time is that the fact that we can focus on the fact that these are human beings underneath the suits.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Which is the main goal throughout the movie is to focus on the fact that these are human beings, and not just human beings. They're teenagers. Yeah. They still have a lot to learn.
Exactly. So,
I did enjoy one of the Red Rangers acting, and of course Billy.
Yes. R.J. Seiler as Billy is so awesome.
He stole the show.
For starters,
he really did.
For starters, just the fact that we have an autistic superhero is just awesome to me, given the fact that I do have Asperger's syndrome. And he's so authentic at being autistic. Like, he has a strict routine for about everything, where he puts all of his pencils and crayons, where he puts stuff in his garage. Just the way that he introduces himself to people, he uses the exact same paragraphs and structures. But at the same time, he doesn't talk robotic. He talks like a normal human being. He does curse a little bit. He makes a lot of references to, movies and shows, and it's always funny when he does. Yeah. And on top of that, it also proves that autistic people can get physical and really kick some ass. And I love the fact that with Ben Affleck and The Accountant and this, they're really showing the fact that we're not all physically clumsy. Like, we can be occasionally, but for the most part, we're just as good as anyone else.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ludi Lin, on the other hand, was one thing where it's not necessarily that he's a bad actor. He does give a good performance, and they give a lot of depth to his character where he has this family member who is sick, and he cares a lot for her and is willing to do anything like skip school and affect his personal life just to help her. But my issue with him was that he has a lot of dialogue and lines where no matter how he delivers them, they're just going to sound really stupid. Like when he's confronting one person for being in this, illegal area, and he's just like, oh, look at that, we're all in this area that you're complaining about us being in. And it's just like, this is so stupid. Why is he saying that?
Yeah. What if that was maybe that's what the director's idea was, or the writer's idea, is to make him that way, and so then it's just...
Yeah, because when I saw the trailers, I thought he seemed like a bit of a stereotype where he's just, wide-eyed and curious and just, says just about anything.
But he was, all like that, but when it got, more in a serious moment, he kind of changed.
Yeah, but he didn't really have anything, but I think what Tyler's also saying is that he didn't really have anything, inspiring or, hey guys, it was just sort of one guy, somebody said something and then he just sort of said, yeah. You know what I mean? When it was serious time, he wasn't like, okay guys, we're in this together, we're gonna, he didn't do wasn't a cool redeeming speech really, he just sort of stayed...
Yeah, because even Naomi Scott as the Pink Ranger has her motivational speech for the entire
and that was nice and that was cool, regardless of... Yeah, I know, so...
Yeah, and she was really good too. For the majority of the movie, you're wondering, what is her deal? Why is she nice to one person at one point and then a complete bitch to everyone else? And then when she confesses to the one person who she trusts why it happened, you can really understand why she's trying to be both inclusive and evasive at the exact same time.
That's true.
One thing I wasn't entirely sure, though, is Becky G as the Yellow Ranger. She has, her own questioning of sexual orientation, and it's confirmed by the director that she is... Yeah. My sister said she was bisexual, but if I'm being completely honest, there's no really reason for it to happen. You never see her with a boy or a girl, and that's not really her biggest secret, so I don't really get why they made her an LGBTQ superhero.
Yeah,
not that I'm complaining about.
I don't know
that.
if you notice they try and make her stereotypically look like a bi too. If you notice that she had that
well, that was
see, I don't want to say that.
Yeah.
Because like we know this one girl who is bisexual, and I did say to her, I never would have guessed that, and she's just like, "What do you mean?" And I had to immediately take that back. So,
and that's understandable. It's not like we, I don't know. I mean,
but I mean, at the same time, it's kind of like asking, "Is there any reason for the characters to be straight?" And you kind of go, "No, I guess not."
Yeah, what were they? Cornrows, like little, or
the
they were just
yeah, that's what they're called. She only had half.
I think
done.
she had yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but like that wasn't her biggest secret.
Wasn't her
it
biggest
was more of a family-centered thing, which
I know
that's what was the main focus on.
And it's focused on enough. Right. It's funny. It's kind of serious too.
I was almost going to say what was her big secret then if it wasn't that. And then you're right. I for whatever reason I just totally glossed over the whole family thing. But I don't know.
For her struggles with going like different schools, and she's
because she had.
Yeah, she's always.
Yeah,
she was essentially a ghost, which is to everybody, and she's never been noticed, and she liked that way.
And maybe that's why I forgot, but
it just works so well in that regard. Okay, so as for Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa, yes, we know for a fact that her role in Hunger Games was pretty much the reason she got cast in this role, and if you know anything about Power Rangers like we do, we know that Rita Repulsa is one of the most corniest, over-the-top villains ever. So, it's a miracle that she wasn't as over-the-top as we thought she was going to be. That being said, when she's walking around in this, I call it Green Goblin cosplay,
it does look like Green Goblin.
She says all these lines that just sound
really
so
Green Goblin.
Stupid. Like,
did she have anything that really made you go, "Whoa! Oh, she's doing this! Oh no!"
Like, or
was it sort of?
Well, here's the thing. There's a scene where she has to retrieve gold from this one jewelry store, and she does these really weird things. Yeah, she kind of is. Where she like consumes it, and it's kind of creepy. And her face looks really disturbing with good makeup, where you can see her veins.
Yeah.
And it's creepy enough, but when she starts putting more stuff on her and she starts raising her voice, it just sounds so bad.
She sounded like she had an orgasm when she was getting some gold.
Make my monster stronger!
A goldgasm.
A goldgasm.
Yeah, no kidding. I know a few people had a goldgasm. I don't want to get into that.
But like, there are these weird moments where like there's this moment where she actually sings something as she's saying it, and she's walking around searching for this product placement, which we will not give away, but needless to say, it's hard not to laugh when she's saying all of this.
Yeah. Not
here. Yes, over there.
Yeah. There was another review I watched about it, I think. Or at least, no, an article I read. Okay. It was an article, and they mentioned that, the product placement, and they said, well, whatever they were, whatever they were getting paid, or whatever, whatever they were paying, or something. They were saying that they got their money's worth.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
It was, and I was like, well, we'll just have to see. And I was like, oh yeah, it is a plot point. It is a definite wow.
It is, and like, it's not as obviously stated as it could have been. Like, it's not an Adam Sandler movie where they literally advertise it through their dialogue, and it's just so. Yeah.
Well, didn't they? They said because it's located here, it's a special place.
Well, but at the same time, this is a fictional city, so you can kind of get away with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was stupid when she started trying the food, and in comes a Zord that busts through. It's just like, we get it. It's a commercial for a few seconds.
Yeah. It would be a song. It's just missing a song and a bunch of people.
I don't have cable, so
imagine if Power Rangers just came in and they started singing and dancing. It's just like la 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 la.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. Is that
I
don't have cable, so I would imagine that this.
Come get that bitch a donut.
I'll bet they did that.
Everything goes to hell. Have a donut and shove in your face because everyone's going to die.
I'll bet they did do a commercial with the characters from the movie.
kind of
I don't have cable, so I don't know. But kind of
like in X-Men when kind of like in the last X-Men movie where Quicksilver is like eating Carl's Jr.
Yeah,
you remember that?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, it's actually not bad for a commercial, but it made him look worse than. Oh yeah,
it would have given. Oh man, he would.
Don't fact check us on that. Just don't.
Yeah, I just thought that there were some definite issues with the plot.
Yeah. As
our friend Kirk pointed out, he was saying he was saying that how do they not know? So yeah, there was a point where they find this character and they're not of this world, right? And
and they think they're
dead, right? Yeah.
Are you assuming my gender?
And they're just assuming they addressed them as a woman, and you're thinking, how do they know this though? Because it wasn't apparent. It wasn't apparent to anyone who's
the corpse was really decaying. It was covered up and stuff.
It was an unknown
So how did you know?
Yeah, and
species,
it's minor.
Species, yeah.
It's minor details like that people either know too much about or they don't know at all. For example, there is a car crash that happens in this movie that's really intense. And then when it cuts to what we assume is like the next day, it turns out it had been like a whole day had passed in time. And like these parents do not ask where their damaged car is. They do not ask why that person
you don't get to see
was
that.
in their room sleeping all day. And you're not sure whether, like, it was addressed, it just wasn't in the plot,
it just was glossed over.
Or if the parents just ignored it. And it's little problems
this.
like that where you're just sitting there wondering,
Which
hello?
is a very cliche thing.
Like that moment when there was an attack, right? The character got attacked, right? And you don't get to see the parents concerned by this. You don't get to see the parents wake up from this, this loud noise, this, this, the debris smash, anything like you don't get to see that, and it's sort of like unfortunate because that would have made sense.
And it would have made that character feel as if she was appreciated and cared for. That would have actually improved.
And to elaborate on to go further with that into that, when that happened, right after that happened, I kind of wrote it off as a subconscious or a dream state sort of thing. But then you see that it really got the bruises, and it really happened. And then you're like, okay, well, so you're less convinced that would have.
How's she even going to explain that to them?
You can accept it less, knowing that they.
Yeah, it's hard to take it as seriously because they're spending so much time delving into the characters and their motivations and giving us so much eye candy with the effects that they kind of ignore minor details that make a big difference.
Yeah, like a summer blockbuster move, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as for
Michael Bay move, maybe.
Yeah. And as for other problems, there are some times where, like, scenes, they just end, and they only last for, like, what feel like a few seconds.
You're right, yeah.
There are so many scenes where Rita Repulsa is discovering how Earth works now, and she's trying to learn different languages, learn how people operate, and they don't last very long. You don't see what she does.
Yeah.
She's just standing there looking like Gollum and kind of making those noises.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you could have went a little more into it to make us kind of understand just how evil she is as a human being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because outside of the campiness
but
value...
is she human, though? I mean,
no,
she's an alien. She's an alien just like Zordon.
She just took on a form of a human being figure.
She's kind of like the
humanoid.
Humanoid figure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I thought that it was weird that they. I mean, maybe and I think for you two, it wasn't as big a problem for
Yeah, because I was satisfied with what we got.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you can't ignore it.
You can't ignore it, no. And it was sort of weird because it was sort of weird that they knew English. I don't because they were not from Earth, and I was like, oh well, you know what? They're
Caleb's,
from a.
I should elaborate more. Caleb's big thing is that when Zordon first wakes up after millions of years of hibernation, that he speaks the alien language first, and then Beta, who somehow knew English beforehand, even though... which begs the question, did he go out of the spaceship at all? But whatever.
For 65 million...
Can he?
65 million years... You could get kind of bored.
I can't see why not.
I mean, how many people are going there for him to? How many people are going to be around there for him to study to, you know?
Yeah, and how does he like hide himself? That's like
also too, you gotta remember the machine is very advanced. It can actually read if you think outside the world.
Yeah, but they don't really make that clear.
No, they don't. But
they don't make that clear.
Like they expect us to know it, which the fact that we just pieced that together, it's quite possible they were onto something. But at the same time,
they expect this generation to be too smart.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it was like
that plus. Yeah. No one can really decide on who this audience is for. Like, everyone complained about the fact that there's an LGBTQ superhero, and it's just like, I don't need to teach my 7-year-old this, and I'm just like, no one showed their 7-year-old this in the 90s. They were complaining about how violent it was in the 90s, so why would you even bring a 7-year-old to a movie like this? It just doesn't make sense. Hell, in the trailer, you see, like, death threats written on a locker. That is a dead, obvious sign you have to be 13 or older.
It's weird that they put a PG.
But if you...
Well, we don't have PG-13 in Canada. We have 14A, and this isn't...
we don't. Oh my god.
This isn't close... This is nowhere near... This isn't close enough for a 14A.
No.
So...
But it says PG, but the content still says gory, strong language.
Yeah, so they...
And sexual themes.
Yeah, to be fair, the feeders and the rating people, they announce it. Parents just don't focus on this shit. It's like when I went to see Logan, there were 3 kids. One of them spent half the movie covering his eyes, and the one parent said, oh god, that was just terrible. And I'm like, so that's a guy who brought his 10-year-old to a fucking 18A movie.
Oh my god, I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Yeah, like, Get Out is 14A.
Well, you know what, it's not that I didn't know that. Somebody's gonna do it.
Yeah, and it's
I didn't hear it from you, but like, I can assume that's gonna happen.
And you just have to roll your eyes at the fact that it's just like, they look at it and go, hey, this is a comic book movie, I'll bring my kids, they'll love it.
Yeah, and Logan, when I was watching, some of the scenes and stuff is pretty gruesome. Like, I was quite surprised.
It's an X-Men movie, so you want to assume.
There are kids who, like, commit serious acts of violence.
Yeah.
So, and, like, it
was pretty intense.
It doesn't approve of kids doing violent stuff, even though... It's more of a sort of kill or be killed scenario, but at the same time, they acknowledge the fact that they did something that is pretty horrible.
Yeah.
So Saban's Power Rangers was actually a pretty surprising movie. It was well acted, the characters were much more fleshed out than I thought they were going to be. The effects, eye candy, the action and choreography was mostly well done. There was a little bit too much shaky cam in some certain scenes, and some minor scenes where it could have been a little bit more elaborated on. But the things that were good were surprisingly entertaining to watch, and for that reason, I'm going to give Saban's Power Rangers a 3.5 out of 5.
Right on. If you're a fan of the original, I definitely recommend checking this one out. It's worth a watch. I'll give it about a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
And nobody here. I found this
running joke.
Yeah, running joke.
It's a good one, yeah. Okay.
They felt they had more originality from the show itself and also previous movies, so it really felt like Power Rangers. And for like enjoyment wise, it is an enjoyable movie for the family to enjoy what it is.
Yeah.
And I did give it about a solid 7.9 out of 10.
All right. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and thank you, Caleb and Nobody, for joining me on this review.
It's been a pleasure.
Be sure to like, subscribe, check out my other reviews at NoPerfectMovie.com, and once again, thank you all very much for watching.
No Perfect Movie!